afternoon, Coolest Coast. Welcome to Coffee on the Coast. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge. Welcome back to the show, Chef Andrew Dunbar. What I have to say, Andrew, is here we're running on just coffee and coolness. But what you're going to do is tell us how we can run on so much more.
Yes.
Chef Andrew Dunbar, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. So I am not a coffee drinker myself, but I did make myself some chai tea just so I could have the coffee on the coast with you. So
excellent. You know, I am all about chai tea on the coffee coast, on the Coolest Coast as well. So I'm good with that. Nice.
Good.
So do you make your own chai tea?
So when I have the time, when it permits, but I always keep a backup of the Oregon brand kind of filler. I like I don't do as much milk or cheese, so I do a little bit of I do like an oat almond mix, kind of is where works for me. We make our own almond milk, and I blend it with oat milk, or I make my own almond, and I blend it with oat milk I buy from the store. So it just gives me the right creaminess I like with it.
Yum. Yeah, a creamy chai tea is just, now I wish that my mug was filled with chai tea. Anyway, this is not a chai tea conversation. This is about Chef Andrew Dunbar, and he is going to be presenting in collaboration with the Manitowoc Public Library, At Home with Andrew, a virtual cooking tutorial. Okay, what do we need to know? My stomach just growled even thinking about it.
So, when this first kind of became a thing, I was doing, and I still am, and we have more planned, of these cooking classes at the library. But, just due to physical limitations of being at a library, such as I don't have a stove. I don't, there's certain things I don't have. Me and the library, Tim Gadzinski is kind of the one that's been working on me with this. I know he's a friend of Coolest Coast and all that as well. So give him his little shout out. And, so we started looking at what can we do to really give a true cooking learning experience. And we thought about LTC has a great kitchen, but are we going to get 20 people to drive down there to do this, rent the space? Is it worth it? And then I started thinking, for me, some of my favorite cooking shows growing up were stuff like Giada when she was in her kitchen. The Pioneer Woman does this very in her kitchen feel. So we said, why don't we take a little spin off that, make it a little local, do a little fun with that. So the plan is, exactly that. I'm basically going to be open up my home for everybody and all viewers that want to come in and watch how I cook when I'm at home.
So they're viewing it virtually, right? People aren't actually going.
Correct. Yes. Yes, exactly. Virtually. So we'll be setting up. We're doing kind of a tech demo a few days before to see exactly where I need cameras and try to get, a couple views, a couple angles of cameras going on. That way, you will to 100% see everything I'm doing at my house while you're sitting in your kitchen at your house. And we're going to walk through from step 1 to step 5, or however many it's going to take through on a recipe. And obviously we want to keep it to the right attention span point of length and all that. But we're not going to be doing any movie magic. You're going to be right there live with me as I'm live streaming from my kitchen. So whenever I say, we got to put this in the pan, I don't pull a second one out that's, already cooked for you to, boom, look at that, TV magic. My steak's done in 2 seconds. So we're going to be able to not only learn a new recipe that is an amazing recipe. It's one I love to cook. I'm going to be able to show people it's actually very simple to cook great food at home, because I don't have a crazy big kitchen. I spend my time in professional kitchens. So the equipment I cook there is different. This will be at home, a frying pan, one knife, a cutting board, and maybe 2 mixing bowls. Like, it's going to be a very, what I think everybody, even some college kids, have in terms of equipment.
So a realistic recipe designed for cooking at home, for cooking at home in a reasonable amount of time. Can you tell us what you're planning to prepare?
Absolutely. So the reason I kind of shot with this recipe is it is 3 items that are very separate that come together, but depending on people's dietive restrictions, that you can leave a chunk out without overall affecting the recipe. Obviously, if you leave the steak out, there's no steak there. But if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you do the all this recipe except for the steak part, and you will have a vegetarian or a vegan recipe. It's not going to correct it much. You don't like one part, you leave it out. Yeah, it's going to be a very fluid thing. That way, people at home, as they're cooking, they don't like it. So what we're going to be making is mushroom and leek stuffed roasted tomatoes with a flank steak and chimichurri.
What is chimichurri?
So,
What does that mean?
Chimichurri. Okay, so think pesto, but instead of basil, using parsley.
Oh.
So there's no pine nuts in it either. So it's some onions, some parsley, a little bit of olive oil, and then some spices here or there that I kind of like to punch mine up with a little bit, but then blended together to kind of make this, that kind of almost pesto-y, thick, chunky, greeny, herby deliciousness. So you get that real fresh parsley, which it's an amazing time for fresh herbs. I mean, we finally got some rain, so if anybody's got a garden, they might be sprouting off by, where are we at? About a week from today, I believe, right? Is the class. So
let's tell people that, right? So Cooking with Andrew, at Home with Andrew, a virtual cooking tutorial is happening Thursday, June 22nd. It is from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and it's going to be live streamed on the Manitowoc Public Library's Facebook page and YouTube channel. So you can see the dish this month, which, that makes it sound like there's going to be more possibly, right, Andrew?
That is the in the talks. Absolutely. I'm going to say in the talks. It's something that is definitely in the future. We're hoping to kind of turn this into a monthly thing with, I believe, 2 or 3 or 4 in the books right now as a rollout program. But, if it takes off and we end up with 20, 30 people asking for more, this, becoming a monthly thing is something I would love to do and love to share my experience.
I love how you suggested that the viewer could actually be preparing right along with you. For that to be the case, are you going to share like an ingredient list or anything in advance?
Yes. So the ingredient list will be coming out on Monday, I believe it is, or at least that is my date to get it to the library so that they can then put it out for it. The recipe that I'll be putting out, or the quantity for the rest or the ingredient list, will be for 4 people. Obviously you only have 2, you cut it in half, you have 8, double it. It's, a very fluid recipe. It's literally like a tomato per person, a piece of steak per it's a very loose, real way to cook that I think works better at homes and across than if I try to tell you, all right, you need to have 9.4 ounces of this. So, it's very fluid. It's a great recipe. Like I said, so we're going to take those tomatoes, some mushrooms, some leeks, parsley, steak, and some seasoning, and that's it. I mean, it's
speaking my language. I like that sort of fluid concept when it comes to recipes and not having to have like an exacting scientific amount. That's where I fail all the time. So, so when you release that recipe and the ingredients list, that'll be check out the Manitowoc Public Library's website, I imagine, right? Manitowoc Library.
Yes, I'm going to say library, and at the very least, their Facebook, they'll be posting a thing saying, hey, here again, reminding everybody the time, the dates, and we'll embed that list inside of there.
So cool. Okay, so I just want to remind people, we are talking about At Home with Andrew. This is a virtual cooking tutorial, one of perhaps many more, happening Thursday, June 22nd. It's live, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on the Manitowoc Public Library's Facebook page and YouTube channel. You are welcome to cook right along with Andrew. You are welcome to watch it through, and then it will be saved on the Facebook and YouTube channels. So you can always go back and reference it again and
Absolutely.
again. Let's see, what else should people know about this?
So I think some of the bigger key points in it is, equipment. As I said, it's not going to be done with amazingly fancy. I'm sorry, I think I lost a little, went out of focus on you there. There we go. It's not going to be done with a ton of really big equipment. Like I said, if you have a cutting board, a good knife that you like to use and are comfortable using, obviously there will be some chopping, some cutting involved. A good skillet that's got, that you can cook a steak in. If people are out there and they want to fire their grill up and have their grill going to cook this steak on, please do. You don't have to do it right on the stovetop like I'm going to. Grills work just great as well. And yeah, a mixing bowl, a baking sheet, and an oven. So we're gonna be essentially cooking the mushrooms and leeks down into the pan, stuffing those inside the tomato, popping that in the oven to roast off while we kind of cook off our steaks. While we pull our steaks and let that rest, we're gonna make that fresh chimichurri. And then the last 5 minutes of it is I'm gonna show you how I like to plate food. And we'll go through 2 different platings. I'll kind of show you we're doing something fancy. You know, we're going to make this look like Michelin star high-end restaurant plating and kind of show you how to do the drizzle of the chimichurri and, you know, sprinkle some parsley on the end. And then I'm going to show you how I would actually plate it when I'm at my house with my fiance and 2 kids. You know, because a 7-year-old doesn't care how fancy that steak looks. He just wants to eat some steak. So, like I said, it's going to be a very universal day. We're going to make sure everybody has a chance to do this. From a college kid that wants to watch this all the way up to a veteran kitchen, you know, person who's been cooking for 50, 60 years of their life. They are going to take something out of this. And hopefully by being live, we'll have some chat going that maybe someone can point something out to me that I've been doing, you know, wrong. Maybe some, you know, little tips or tricks when it comes to dicing down mushrooms, a better way to do it. So I'm there for the feedback and kind of, you know, cooking in the community, cooking on the coolest coast and making it, you know, everything it can be.
I love it. I love that viewers will have the opportunity to possibly learn some skills. I love that there's the opportunity right along, like, you know, so you can be alone in your kitchen, but yet feel like it's part of this community experience. That's awesome. And then I love that you're preparing food accessible, right? That it's not all of these fancy ingredients. It's not complicated equipment. We can take good food and prepare it for ourselves, which is such an important thing to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I'm going to go probably Tuesday or Wednesday down to the grocery store and buy it all right here at a grocery store local. I mean, there is absolutely not a single ingredient that I can't get then. The only exception to that is I'll probably hit up the farmer's market Saturday. And if I can get some really good parsley or anything that's going to, you know, some leeks would probably last that, you know, 5 days in between. I'll probably try to grab those there just so, you know, they're nice, fresh from a farmer's market. But other than that, yeah, everything will be able to get picked up from any grocery store in town.
I love how cool that is too, that we have a farmer's market with access to fresh things as they come online. Yeah.
And it's so amazing. And they do such a good job of making it even more accessible. You know, they have the EBT program there to families that need that little extra assistance to where, you know, you can get, I think they match the first $10 of EBT dollars you need there. So if you are on a fixed budget or an income, you take $10 in, you can walk out with $20 of fresh veggies. And, you know, or if you don't need the extra assistance, you can go in and get the best lettuce and all that because, you know, it's got dirt on it and bugs, which means it's fresh and it means that's good. So
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let me ask you this. Has Jim Gadzinski ever convinced you to cook up any crickets? Do you have any recipes for
I don't know if we've had the direct request, but me and him have actually had conversations about bugs and food and all that as well. I'm a fellow traveler as he is, and I love visiting different places and different locations. So I've, you know, from East Asia all the way through Europe, I've cooked and ate some interesting things.
Do you have a bug of choice?
Fried mealworms. Get the little bitty white mealworms in a pan, put a little butter, toss those around. They'll get really weirdly crispy, like popcorn. And because they're in butter, they have a popcorny taste, but about 10 times the protein and half the cost.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm from Indiana originally. And Purdue University is the big university kind of in the area where I'm at. And I don't know if they still do it because this is, you know, 15, 20 years ago when I was in school and all that, they actually used to have bug week. So all the elementary schools would take field trips there. And one of the things they had was that crunchy crickets and, you know, mealworm popcorn. They would literally serve you like a little bitty dish of buttered mealworms. And, you know, they would have other people eating earthworms or what. They had all kinds. it was obviously a learning thing. They showed us how bugs help and they're not pests and all that. So it was very from, I don't know, like I think that was 5th grade probably was when I ate my first bug.
That's fascinating. Okay, but viewers, just so I didn't confuse you, there are no bugs involved.
There's no, not at all. No, this will be a bug-free recipe, I promise.
A bug-free recipe at home with Andrew, a virtual cooking tutorial, Thursday, June 22nd. It's live 6 to 7:30 p.m. Manitowoc Public Library's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And if you look at the tiny fine print, it does say that it's a virtual cooking class series. And so it looks like Thursday, June 22nd, possibly July 13th, and August 24th. We also have to look forward to. It sounds fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And something I'm definitely looking forward to, doing this stuff with the library from the cooking classes I've done there. We did the gnocchi class for adults. We did a make our own ranch with some teens. We even did a family one where we built and learned about salty and sweet and kind of built our own trail mix. That was super, super fun. So I love doing these things, and there's only going to be more to come because I like doing it. I feel that the library enjoys having me do them. They keep letting me come back, so I'm taking that as a good sign. And if you guys like it too, please come in. If you can't make it live, that, as Tina said, that it's going to be saved. It's the beauty of the internet. It's on YouTube forever. You can't leave the internet once you're there. So if you can't cook that day, please come back a day or two later. If you're looking to start dinner, maybe closer to 5, not 6, and watch it. Later on, it's going to be great. I recommend cooking it 2-3 times. Put your own little spin on it. Find me on Facebook, social media, all those, and tell me what you did different. Did you swap the mushrooms because you just have someone who doesn't like mushrooms with another grain? Maybe you did ricin leeks or like a farro ancient grain stuffed tomatoes to make it work for your family. Let me know about that, and let everybody know. Comment in the Facebook posts there on the library so we can kind of know what else is happening and figure out where we want to steer the next class.
Yeah, fantastic. So do you already have planned out what you're doing for the next classes?
Sort of. So the goal of these 3 that we have set, once a month, June, July, August, is kind of what I'm doing with this one. It'll, when everyone sees the recipe and they see the finished product, it'll make a little more sense. But yeah, the end of it is going to be, I just want to prove to people it's not that hard to cook this amazing looking food that you can wow guests when they come over, or you don't have to plate it, just set it on a plate and eat it, and you're going to wow yourself because it's going to taste amazing. So that's going to be the idea, is taking that high top end food and showing you how to do it in your kitchen. So I don't have the recipes exactly picked out. That is going to be the theme. So it'll be it's going to be scary. I'm going to start throwing bigger and bigger words in there. We're going to start hearing, souffle and stuff like that as we do this. But again, it's all going to be done with a muffin tin and a stick of butter from your house. So
it's amazing. It's like kitchen courage on the coolest coast.
Exactly. And that's a lot of this is, I think a lot of people get scared to cook because they watch those YouTube channels with the movie magic, and, they have this fear that as they're messing up their risotto, Gordon Ramsay's got to pop in their kitchen and start calling them, an idiot sandwich and all this type of stuff, So just, I want people to be comfortable cooking, and you're always going to be more comfortable in your own home. So that's kind of why we steered it this way, is be comfortable, learn a recipe, learn to modify that recipe as you or your family needs you to. And let's hope in a year, just the entire coolest coast is just eating a little bit better.
Nice. I love it. Chef Andrew Dunbar, I love the enthusiasm that you bring and the excitement for cooking in our own kitchens. Fantastic collaboration between Chef Andrew Dunbar and the Manitowoc Public Library. Stay tuned for more cool things, and definitely check it out, happening next Thursday, June 22nd.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, live Facebook and YouTube, and you can always check it out following that as well. It's going to be so cool. Chef Dunbar, come back and join us again sometime soon.
Anytime you'd have me.
Thanks for watching this episode of Coffee on the Coast. We'll see you next time.